So, as you may or may not know by now, the House of Representatives, run by Republicans, has passed a budget reconciliation bill that doesn't really give a whole lot of details, right? It talks about how they want to do X amount in tax cuts for the upper class, and it talks about wanting to cut this much in spending, but there really aren't any details. And what wasn't in there, for sure, was no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. It wasn't in there. It may still be part of the final package once the Senate and the House have an opportunity to negotiate what this bill is ultimately going to look like. But what was passed by the House of Representatives does not contain any of that. There is no wording to stop taxing your overtime. There is no wording to stop taxing your tips. And there is no wording to stop taxing your Social Security. But it didn't stop a whole bunch of MAGA influencers and other Republican dumb fucks from taking to social media and claiming that it did. And now they're all scrambling to cover their tracks.
MAGA influencers and politicians are rushing to delete their tweets after they were caught lying about what was in the budget resolution passed by House Republicans last night. And Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, for example, she tweeted yesterday, "Congratulations, America. Tonight we finally put an end to tax on tips and tax on overtime." Except there was one problem. That was a complete and total lie. And so she was fact-checked by Twitter, by the community notes, people saying that no, that in fact did not include provisions for no tax on tips or no tax on overtime. Also, that wasn't even the full bill. Nothing actually passed. It was just a resolution putting forth targets of what they ultimately want. And that tweet has now been deleted. MAGA influencer account N Wokeness got caught in the same exact lie, writing, "Breaking House GOP passes budget bill, which ends taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. Promises made, promises kept." And that was deleted as well. But not before it racked up over 6 million views. So MAGA was trying to position this resolution, which is going to try to push forward more than $4.5 trillion in tax cuts for the wealthy and adding $19 trillion to the deficit over 10 years as some sort of bill for the common man. Well, they got caught. And some of these accounts that lied about it still have these tweets up to this second. They are quite literally scamming their own base, yet their base doesn't seem to realize it or doesn't care. We're going to be following everything that's going on, so make sure you follow our account for more and add the Midas Touch podcast on Apple and Spotify to stay up to date.
They're just lying to you people. And you guys are believing it. People have flooded into my comment section. "I thought you never said no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime was going to get passed." Well, it might eventually get passed. Who the fuck knows? But it hasn't been passed yet. It sure as fuck wasn't part of what the House passed because there were no specifics in there. There was no wording on that. So all of you fucking imbeciles, and that's what you are, all of you folks who flood into the comment section of social media creators' content to hoop and holler about how there's no more tax on tips and overtime and Social Security because the Republicans kept the promise that Trump made, you're fucking imbeciles. All of you. You are dumber than a bag of fucking hammers. You have the brain mentality of a shit stain. And you are the reason why we get presidents like Trump, because you are easily duped by misinformation. You were lied to, you didn't bother to fact check a fucking thing, and you ran with it. You fucking idiots.